Well, hello and welcome to Hello, I Am Clutch, where I am here today in Gurnee, Illinois at Six Flags Great America to take you on a full walking tour of the entire park. And so in this video, I'm literally going to walk around the entire park, show you all the rides, and we're going to see everything there is to do. Starting right here at this beautiful entryway with a double-decker carousel. What is wonderful about that carousel is of not only the 2 stories, but it's a menagerie carousel, meaning there's animals that aren't just horses on there. And but the funny thing is, on the 2nd floor, just to let you know, is regular carousel. 1st floor, menagerie carousel. On the right over here, we have the Sky Tower. The Sky Tower is basically a great observation tower that takes you all the way up into the sky, rotates around a few times. We'll get a good shot of it here in a second. So, well, where is it? Yeah, it's coming back down at the moment. But once it goes up, you get really good views of the park, and on a clear day, you can see all the way to the Chicago skyline, which is very, very cool. So there is a few fun things right at the front for you to do. But again, what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to walk around the park. I'm going to show you kind of where all the rides are so you can see it. It is a big circle park, which is pretty great. Makes it kind of easy to go around easily. So you can go to the left and go around that way if you want to, but I like going to the right first. I think, personally, for me, some of the more fun rides are to the right. So here, this is the exit to Maxx Force. The entrance to Maxx Force is just to the left of there. This is one of the times you will exit through the gift shop, just to let you know. So Maxx Force is one of the very fun roller coaster. It goes from 0 to 78 in 1.8 seconds when it launches, which is awesome. Something really cool in here that I want to show you is this big model over here. So in this gift shop right now, this is, I didn't mention, this is the 50th year for Six Flags Great America. And it used to be called Marriott's Great America. And they have this awesome model that basically shows it like in its entirety, in its past and what it used to look like and all the rides there. And it's just, I'm trying to see if they had any signage for you to see. So while I am giving you a full walkthrough, we're also gonna take a peek into some of the shops when there's something we're seeing, because let me tell you, at the end, there's some more cool 50th stuff to check out. So anyway, going back out of here, again, still entrance to Maxx Force. And then we're gonna be going under the bridge over here to get kind of to our main first hub. I believe this is Hometown Station. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. They don't actually have like big marquees all the time. Sometimes when you enter a section, they have a big old marquee that kind of helps you see exactly what section you are in. But the main point of this is I want you to see it mostly uninterrupted so you can kind of see where everything is. So I'm not going to be able to point out every little thing, but I'll point out the major stuff. You know, like Bubble Tea Station, the major stuff. That's what we're talking about. But the reason I'm pointing this way, back over there is Hometown Fun Machine. So that's where you can find their Scrambler attraction. They have that kind of hiding in the back corner over there. They also have some, looks like What Float You? Because they got floats. And it looks like a candy shop over here. And then in this area to the left is where you can catch the train. There's actually 2 spots you can catch the train. We're gonna walk the whole park, so we're gonna see that 2nd spot. So this is one place you can catch the train, and it goes around the park completely with 1 stop in between. Then over there they got another ride, Triple Play. Let me zoom in so you can kind of see. It's its own unique, like, old school ride there, kind of a circular, swinging contraption shenaniganery over there. Anyway, there are going to be some times where there is not too much, actually. Like, this is actually a very busy park, very dense park, lots of good stuff here. But there are a few moments where, as you can see in the square here, not too much going on. But that's okay. We still love the park for what we got, because once we get to the next few sections, it gets quite dense with all the big stuff. Now to the right over here is the Whizzer. Whizzer is a very old school Schwarzkopf roller coaster for all my roller coaster nerds out there, this is a very cool thing that they have here. So like, and it is a classic one, as you can see, because it has an Ace roller coaster landmark. Whenever you see one of these, that means it has some very good historical significance and basically is going to be preserved. Something else cool that I forgot to point out is, because it is Great America's 50th anniversary, they have these cool signs on a lot of the roller coasters and rides giving you a little history about it, so totally worth it to check all of that kind of stuff out. But continuing our tour around over here, for this next little section, it's mostly just a few little kind of food shops and things. So like Fill the Thrill, cold drinks, snacks, and more. I read too fast and then I combine words. It's a common problem on Hello, I Am Clutch. It's not just exclusive to this video. So over here on the right, we have Strutters, chicken, brews, and spirits. Looks like we got like chicken-based treats as well as you can get some adult beverages, if you will. I often will, not usually on the channel, but just then you know, that's a behind the scenes secret for you over there. So as we come into this main area, we got a few kind of midway games and such, but now you're seeing your first look at their big new roller coaster, Wrath of Rakshasa. I think I said it right. It's a dive coaster. It's a beyond vertical dive coaster, so if you can see that drop there, it kind of like goes beyond 90 degrees, which is really cool, and you kind of get paused there at the top before you drop, and it's a fantastic roller coaster. So here you're kind of at a crossroads. You can go left or you can go right. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna quickly go just a little bit left to show you a couple entrances to rides. So first of all, we have the lobster here. This lobster looks a lot like an octopus, if you can see that. It just happens to have a lobster up top. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, here we timed it right so we can watch the drop coaster go. So let's watch that. It's not broken. It was just waiting in anticipation. Yeah, it's really cool. So over here to the left though, we do have Hometown Park. There's a few kiddie rides back there, a lot of like little circle ones, like a little ladybug one, a car one. So like there is no, I think, designated like kiddie area in this park, so there's just kind of kiddie rides peppered throughout that you will find. Guys, I'm trying to film a video, jeez, oh my goodness. Anyway, the reason I want to come over here is because there are two entrances that are important over here for a couple rides. So we have Wrath of Rakshasa. I say it wrong all the time. It's kind of hard to say. Wrath of Rakshasa. You can kind of see it in the distance over there. That's the entrance to it, so you can get on it there. But then also, where all these people are standing over here on the right, is Demon, the oldest, well, semi-oldest roller coaster in the park. This one was here when the park opened in 1976, and it is right behind there. It is very old, very cool. I think we can see a little bit of it over here. Yeah, sun is doing us no favors, but that's it going right now up there. And that one, it feels like it's built in 1976. And I say it's kind of the oldest because technically it was the oldest built in the park, but as you'll see in a little while, they actually brought over a roller coaster that is technically older, and we will see that in a little bit. So what we're gonna actually do is, well, let me kind of explain. You can keep going that way to get to the back of the park, but then you'd miss all the stuff that's in the Southwest Territory. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna walk back to that entrance to the Southwest Territory and walk around that way. You can slow this down, this is what I'm saying. It's straight for you. It's straight. So back to over here, we have the Southwest Territory. So this is kind of one of their, the lands do have sometimes a theme again, sometimes they have a little like facade to let you know which area. Oh my gooshness, oh my gooshness. That was the lobster, who might actually be an octopus. It was just beeping at me. It's kind of rude if you ask me. Oh cool, there, you can see the train going off in the distance. So I'll say it's a pleasant ride, but it is a slow ride, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just something to note. So over here we have just a bunch of midway games as we're walking through to get to the actual Southwest Territory. Southwest Territory is home to some relatively older rides, but some really good rides. So you'll see after we get under this bridge what we got for you. So now that we're in the Southwest Territory, to the right over here, we have Viper. Viper is their big wooden roller coaster, which on the day I was here was not open, unfortunately. But I've heard nothing about it being worked on or what. It just happens to be, you know, not working. It's that big, beautiful wooden roller coaster. I remember it packing a punch. Something I haven't said was when I came here to record this was my first time in 20 years almost since I've been to this park. And what's fun is this is my original home park. And actually I got a little surprise for you if you stick around to the end to show you how much I care about it being my home park. I have kind of a permanent something here to show you. That is because I love it here. But anyway, going deeper into the Southwest Territory, we got some just like shops. It looks like gifts, souvenirs and such. Looks like there's a sports bar and grill to the right over there. Like, it's interesting because sometimes it seems like there's a lot of stuff, but it's really just kind of open. And like this park is actually relatively big. It has a lot of good roller coasters. I think 16 by my last count if they're all open. And it's pretty incredible. And a lot of other good rides as well. So like it looks like to the left here, again, we got some ice cream. It looks like there's a, what's the word? Arcade. There's an arcade over there. But then to the right is where some of the important things to look at are. First, we got the Chubasco. Chubasco in there is a teacup ride. So it's like teacups, you know, the ones that spin and such. I'll try to get a little bit of a closer look when we get closer. But then the really important thing is over here, this big orange behemoth, that's Raging Bull. That is basically the roller coaster that made me fall in love with roller coasters when I was younger. Now, before we do show you the entrance of that, just want to take a quick peek inside here so you can see Chubasco. So you can see, like I said, it's kind of like just a teacup ride right there. I do like the theming that we're kind of inside, and I find that kind of fun. But walking out over here now is where you can find Raging Bull's entrance. This was built, I think, in 1999. I know it's a B&M Hyper coaster, meaning it's over 200 feet for the drop, which is really cool. Fantastic ride, fantastic. Then you got Fiesta Fries over here. And then this guy, oh, that's not an observation tower. That is a giant drop. Oh, I think they're about to go. Let's see if we can get them. Can we get it? I think they're up there, so they gotta come down. As they say, what go, oh no, wait a minute. I think those are not the ones going. I think the people are over there. Interesting. I thought it was gonna be something. I was wrong. I rode this earlier and that was the side I was on, so I just assumed that's what it was. But anyway, something I do like about the giant drop in particular, they have kind of a fun queue. It's like you're going through a mine. It's almost worth it just to go through the little queue there, which I think is kind of fun. But then over here to the left, we have this, Greetings from Six Flags, a great selfie chance, a wonderful selfie chance. Actually, let's, selfie chance. All right, it's enough. Going back around here, we're on the other side of the Chubasco. You can see it's kind of like a big, just open place to sit over here. And then we have a couple more rides in the back of the Southwest Territory. We have what is known as the Ricochet. It's kind of like a swing ride, but it's like on sticks, so they like kind of like flail out, which is kind of funny. And then over here we got the River Rocker. River Rocker is your swinging pirate ship ride, but in this case, it's a canoe. But one funny thing I do want to point out about Ricochet, again, when I was growing up, because of those horseshoes on the sign, I always called this the U Ricochet U ride. So if you're here and you want to find it, ask for U Ricochet U. They won't know what you're talking about, but it'll be funny. Anyway, back this way to the corner. This is an interesting thing because thematically, it's completely out of place. But we have a DC-based ride over here. We have Justice League Battle for Metropolis, which is the only dark ride in the park. Another thing that happened to me, unfortunately, on the day I was here, it was not running. I've only ever, this is like at a few Six Flags parks, and I've only ever been on it at the one at Six Flags over Texas. And I wanted to see how it compared to other ones, and unfortunately did not get that today. But just so you know, this is kind of hidden right here in the back of the park for you. So you can see that. It's got a real fun facade. I think it has some good animatronics and like some fun inside, but unfortunately not today for Clutch. But going back this way, got a lot of fun interactions. This is the other side of Demon. So we talked about that before I showed you where the entrance was. You come out this tunnel at one point, which is very cool. And oh wait, hold on. Yeah, look, I'm getting some good timing in this video. As you can see, like this is one long shot so far. I'm just getting lucky. My mouth is getting dry, so that's not lucky. Anyway, oh yeah, if I do a little bit of hurrying, oh yeah, we got that corkscrew coming. Corkscrew, and a 1, and a 2. Yeah, that's pretty fun. Yeah, again, that's a 50-year-old ride, and it doesn't feel a day over 45. Yeah, if you look back, you get a pretty cool view of that double corkscrew right there. Oh yeah, the underside of the Demon. Anyway, so we're still walking around here, going back to basically where the Wrath of Rakshasa entrance was and the Demon entrance, which is why I kind of wanted to show you that first, just to give you that little bit of understanding. So it's got a Southwest Territory, the way it's built now, it's kind of in its own little like side place. So right there, right about there is the Wrath of Rakshasa entrance. So I was over there pointing the other way, and so if you just walk that little bit more, this is where you would end up. And so now that we are over here, we will keep on going. Look at that thing fly. I will say, as we're walking past it, I've only been on 2 dive coasters, and this one was the longer one. It was very fun. The one at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger, might be my favorite just because of the theming behind that one. It has a pre-show, it's awesome. Anywho, gonna keep walking over here. To the left is kind of one of your big food areas. This is the County Fair food court. So there's a lot of food options here. It's like pizza, nachos, I think there's some Asian stuff. There's actually a lot of good options for food in this park, in my opinion. It feels like it's not hard to find some good food nearby. But this section, I do believe, in total is called the County Fair. Just to get, some of these places are lightly themed, not like heavily themed, so it might not be obvious, because obviously when you go to the County Fair, what do you think of? X-Flight? Yes, that's what I thought. You think of X-Flight. So this is a wing coaster that is really fun. I enjoyed this one. This has some cool like near miss elements. We'll get a better angle. That tower right there has like this moment where you glide through it and it feels like you're gonna hit all sides. And it's the best part of the whole ride. But as we go this way, we got a gift shop to the left. I apologize for the weird break there. My mouth is getting very dry. I've been yelling all day on roller coasters and I haven't hydrated properly. That right up there is called Clutch Won't Go on that one. That's a bad joke. It's called Sky Striker, but that's just not for me. That's not for me. But coming back over here, I'm gonna do a little kind of zoom around to show you that part. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted. That is insane, insanity. So again, the sun isn't doing us any real favors, but I just wanted to, you can kind of see there, that is the part of X-Flight, where like at the last second you kind of go to the side and you go through that tower there, and it's just really cool. It's like, because visually it looks like you're gonna hit it, and then it's not until the absolute last second that you don't. So I find that very fun. So in this back section, there used to be a lot more Midway games. There's only a few open right now. Fun fact, I worked here when I was in college, and I worked as basically at the Midway games, and I tended to work here a lot. So I have a lot of memories from being over here. But to the right of all this, we have Kidzopolis, so a few more kids rides over here. And then this is the entrance of Sky Striker, that big swinging pendulum ride over there. And then the big wooden roller coaster in the back, that big white one, is American Eagle. And so American Eagle is, I think this one was also open when the park first opened. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know it's been here for a long time. It has an Ace roller coaster landmark right there. And I know for the summer of 2026, it's gonna be racing for the first time in 10 years. So that's pretty exciting. And then back here, again, it's kind of like, you get some weird spots of kind of emptiness. You got a Johnny Rockets, but that's about it. So, Clutch, can you fast forward, please? As we are now probably in the farthest part of the park, we have the Funnel Cake Foundry, where you can be found with funnel cake. It's a good time. It's a good time. And then to the back right over here is the Fairgrounds Junction. This is the other train station, so if you were to take that train, you can get off here, or you can get on here and go back to the front, or you can just take the Grand Circle Tour if you'd like. Tour? I tried to say tour. Grand Circle Tour if you'd like. Anyway, here is Goliath. Goliath is their RMC roller coaster. That's Rocky Mountain Construction. They do a lot of really fun stuff. Sometimes they convert wooden roller coasters, sometimes they make their own roller coasters, but this has some really cool drops. It has some really cool upside down moments. It's intense, but it's a lot of fun. And then over here to the left, I really like this one. This just feels like it has a real classic vibe. It's called Fiddler's Fling. It's kind of like a breakdance ride combined with a tilt-a-whirl ride, if you understand what that means. Look it up, it makes sense. That's kind of what it is. But then walking back this way, well, first of all, here's a better look at Goliath from here. So like that's the first drop right there. And then this part, you go upside down on that, and you're hanging for a long time as you do that. And it's sensational. It is full of sensation. It is fantastic. Anyway, this way, we're going to the Yukon territory at this point, which is this section over here. Sorry, I had to avoid young people walking in my path, and I did not want to knock them over. Anyway, we have Ma and Pa's Trail Grub, so some food over here. There's some walls up here saying something exciting is coming in 2027, so not sure exactly what that is as of filming, so by the time you're watching this in the future, you might know exactly what's going there. And this is the first of 2 sections where something new seems to be coming. Over here we have Loggers Run, which I believe is a log flume type ride. It is closed, and so I did not get to see what all it entails today. Coming back this way, we have an extremely blinding sun, but that's okay, because to the left of that we have the Yukon barbecue pit, which I would say is a top-notch place to eat lunch. Really good barbecue. They have a little train on the inside, which is really fun to see, and it has like some cute theming. Actually, I'm going to take you inside, give you a quick peek, because this is where I ate lunch today, and I had a good time here, so I'm advocating for it. Hopefully no one's sitting too close to the window, so it's not super awkward. But I just want to show you what we got in here. So it is like barbecue food, and I think it's reasonably priced. Oh, hold on. Yeah, so like up there, you can see we got some light theming up at the top. And before there was a train going around. I'm not seeing it at the moment, but, oh wait, hold on, there it is. There you are, he's in the corner right there. Yeah, they have a train going around, which, just for Clutch. Super, super fun. Love that kind of thing. Anyway, walking back out here, back into the wilderness. Fort Wilderness? No, not just regular wilderness. To the left there, where you can see some more fencing, is where they're building. Again, something new is sprouting in 2027 is what they were saying over there. So for this little part, there's not too much to see because we have a lot of construction wall set up. So again, Clutch, can you go ahead and fast forward for me? And we're back. And straight ahead of me is the Little Dipper. This is what is technically the oldest roller coaster in the park. This originally was at Kittyland, which was an amusement park in Chicago. That it was built in 1950, and when Kittyland ceased to be, Six Flags bought it, brought it here, and I think 2009. So while it's not an original roller coaster in the park, it is technically the oldest roller coaster in the park. And it's not quite a kiddie coaster, it's not quite a family coaster, it's really kind of just like a miniature coaster. And that alone, I think, makes it really, really special. It's really cool. Like, check out the history of that. If you go in the line, they got this great sign at the front that gives you history, and in the queue, there's some good history as well. And then over here now, we are entering one of the more obviously themed areas, the DC universe. So even though some of the DC stuff you'll see actually later is not even in the DC universe, this is the main DC universe right here. So straight ahead is Vertical Velocity, which I think might be also called Flash Vertical Velocity. When I used to come to this park as a kid, it was just called V2, just Vertical Velocity. That's all it was. It goes up that way over there, and then it goes back, and it goes up that spirally over there. I don't know if it still does it, but when I was a kid, it used to hold you. Like, it would go up, and then like stall, and then drop you. It was the best part, by so much. There's also an ice cream stand in the back over here. There's some snacks over here as well. And then you can get your caricatures done over there so you can look big and goofy for a nominal fee. They got some stores over here, DC Universe store, so you can get a lot of DC character stuff there. And then here, straight ahead, we have the Super Villains Swing. Basically, it's a swing ride that's themed to DC super villains, stuff like that. And then over here we have kind of a trifecta of some fun rides. So straight ahead is Joker, which is a 4D spinner ride. That's another nope for Clutch, because it's one of those where, like, you can see this is the whole ride right there, and the main thrill of it is that you spin erratically, and it's scary. And I don't really like those sensations, so I don't do it, and you cannot make me. And then to the right we have Aquaman Splashdown, which is kind of like a log flume type of ride over there. It says, I don't know, I haven't actually been on that one myself since they've rethemed it, so I don't know if it's like themed to Aquaman or if it's just because it has water. That's what they're going with. And then over here is kind of one of the more famous attractions, in my opinion, of this park. It's one of my favorites. It's Batman the Ride. And Batman the Ride is very special, this one in particular, because A, this ride got cloned and put in a lot of other parks. But this is the original one. This is the first Batman the Ride, and it still holds up super great. I also believe it was the first inverted coaster of all time. You can see again, there's a lot of important things about it because it's got an Ace roller coaster landmark right here. When they put that up, there's something unique about it. It's something that's really important about it. And so this has been even It's been part of the Ace roller coaster landmark since it looks like June 2005, so it's been a while. So anyway, great ride. I think it's still fantastic. So now let's head out of DC Universe to go to some other universes. Over here on the right, they do have Steelworks Pub, which has literally everything you could ever want. It has beer, wine, and spirits, and it's the place for pizza, pasta, and more. That is a lot of stuff. So pretty much everything you could want, they got that all for you over there. Coming around this corner, there's not much for about the next like 30 seconds or so. So I think Clutch is gonna do a little bit of post-editing speed up. So this next section over here is technically known as the Mardi Gras section, which kind of is adjacent to what we'll see in a second, the Orleans Place section. But this is relatively small, not much in here, but it does still have some fun New Orleans vibes. Something that is not super New Orleans, as you'll see, is over here on the right, is the Roaring Rapids. Or, I mean, I know you can kind of kayak on the bayous there, but I don't know if they have rapids. So this is their kind of, you know, Roaring Rapids rides, because I was about to say something else other than Roaring Rapids, but that's literally the name of the ride. They made it easy for me. We have a few kind of just like midway games over here on the left. And then the one kind of real, well, no, we already had one real ride. The one other ride we have over here is this kind of balloon swing ride, which I believe is the Big Easy. I think it has a fuller name than that, but it might just be Big Easy Balloons. And so they got that for you as well. And then across the way, kind of behind it, is another Johnny Rocket. So if you want to have more than one Johnny Rocket experiences in a day, they got multiple locations for you. Over here, this is called Cirque Electrique, but there's nothing there. So I don't know what's going on. I feel like there used to be a ride over here, but I can't fully remember. It's been, again, almost 20 years since I've been here, so I'm not exactly sure what may or may not used to have been there. But now we're coming back over here under this bridge, which gets us into Orleans Place. And now you'll see in a second, you don't want to confuse it with also DC Universe, because the first corner feels a lot more DC Universe than New Orleans. Now, first we do have on the right Pizza Orleans. So I guess that's a thing that you can have there. But in the back over here on the right, that's the Dark Knight coaster. It's in that big gray box. It's a mouse, wild mouse style coaster. It's got some nice theming for being a wild mouse coaster. I know it's not firing on all cylinders like it used to. There used to be a pre-show, it wasn't working when I was here, and it felt like some of the effects weren't going, but still being inside with what they had for that ride, I thought was a lot of fun. But then here we have Superman Ultimate Flight, which is a flying roller coaster. You're like kind of on your stomach. It's supposed to be literally like your Superman flying. It has some very interesting sensations because of how that feels. But anyway, going this way, we have Orleans Place. So now it has kind of, you know, some balconies, some New Orleans vibes over here. And we do have actually still a couple more rides. First you have Condor. Condor, I feel like, I swear this is like one or like two of a kind of remaining, where like it's these like little like birds that you sit in and they spin around and then the whole thing spins around and then it goes up. And there's a condor at the top. That's why it's called Condor. I also just really like saying a condor. It's a neat little ride. It gets you some good views, a little bit more intense than you might expect. But on the left, you do have a few places to eat. You have Italian beef at Big Lou's. I'm trying to see in the distance, there's a street cafe. To the right, this is the bumper cars, Rue Le Douge. So that's where you can find some bumper cars. It's not super obvious if you're not looking for it. But at this point, what we're seeing is the Emporium in front of us. And I'm really excited to show you the Emporium because, again, because of the 50th anniversary right now, all the 50th anniversary merch seems to be in here, which is really cool. There's a lot of good merch in there, but there's actually something super special I want to show you inside here that they have right now. I hope they keep this for a while because it's really cool. So, again, it's the 50th anniversary of the park, so it's been around since 1976. And if we go inside here, and try to be a little bit more quiet because I don't know how many people are going to be in here. Over here, you see, we have the Legacy Museum. So what they have over here is basically a whole bunch of memorabilia and like some really cool stuff about Six Flags history. So if you didn't know, Six Flags, before Six Flags, used to be Marriott's Great America. So you can see on like this hat here, there's Marriott's Great America. So they have a lot of really cool stuff in the walls here, like a lot of cool old memorabilia. Like, yeah, a lot of this says Marriott's. I don't know when it changed to Six Flags. If you do, let me know in the comments. I don't know off the top of my head when that happened. But what I think is cool in the middle here, they have a humongous model of, what is it? American Eagle. I couldn't say it. I couldn't get off the top of my head. So they have the American Eagle model right here. So in case, if you didn't get to ride it, you can definitely just see what the whole track layout looks like right there. So that's really cool. So again, all this is the Legacy Museum. I know they built this for this year. I don't know how long it'll be here, but I do think it's really awesome. And if you grew up in kind of the late 90s, early 2000s, I think that's when Mr. Six was super big, and he did a lot of silly, crazy things. He was a cool guy. He liked to party. That's right. He liked to party. It's a good joke if you know who Mr. Six is. But anyway, with the 50th anniversary celebration, there is also one other really cool thing I want to show you. So I promised you at the beginning, there's some kind of like connection I have here. I told you I worked here. This was my home park, so it's very special to me. And so something very cool they did this year was you could leave a legacy. Basically, they have these bricks that you could have purchased to leave your name, a message, and get a symbol on there. They had different things there, and for me, I put a well, I've got ahead of myself just a smidge there. I bought a brick here, so I'm permanently on the ground here. I'm hoping they'll keep this for a long time. I put Raging Bull as mine because I was all excited that that was my first real roller coaster that I feel like made me love roller coasters as an adult. And now I want to show you where mine is, and I was hoping on the fly I could figure it out. I know it's somewhere in this region, and I'm going to keep talking until I find it, because if you see it before me, let me know. I'm trying to look. There you are. Okay, right here. So let's back up. So I'm going to keep my finger kind of right there. So you look at this whole thing there, you look at that over there, and then we come down here, and there you are. Hello, I am Clutch on YouTube. First home park. So if you happen to come to the park at any point this year, come say hi, say, hello. You are not Clutch, but say hello to I am Clutch. Also, something cool to me is that I'm right near some of the guys from In the Loop. In the Loop was a big inspiration for why I started my YouTube channel. A lot of what I care about, they do some amazing stuff too. So the fact that we're neighbors is just freaking awesome to me. So I just wanted to point that out there because I think that's really great. But as I get up here, you can see now that we're kind of back at the front of the park. We are at the entrance there. You can see Superman in the distance. See that double-decker carousel. And so with that, I just want to thank you so much for coming around with me, checking out all of Six Flags Great America. If you did want to see a full day at the park, check out this video on the screen right now. I spent the whole day there as well, going on roller coasters, so you can see everything that's fun there. But if you want to check out some other of my Six Flags walkthroughs, those are on the screen now. Or if you want to jump to a different theme park to see that, check out that list of videos. Those are good too. But until I see you in one of those places, for now, I will just say goodbye. I am still Clutch.